It is time for this week's edition of Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. Lines are open for you, 920-923-1450 or 888-900-1450. Or if you're bashful, use the email, kfizstudio@gmail.com. If you can, send pictures. Makes it much easier for the hosts, not just the button pusher, that's me, for the hosts to answer your questions. When I mention hosts, of course, I'm talking the one and only Ron Rademann. Good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
Good to see you.
Yeah, well, we had a week off last week. And
yeah, I had to really reread the instruction book on how to run this board after a week off. And the other one with us this morning, the other expert, is Master Gardener Patty. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you back here again.
Yeah,
And,
beautiful day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Your kind of weather.
Yes, my kind of weather.
I kind of thought so. Yeah, you like it hot, you like it humid, you like stuff growing.
Well, not so much humid, but I like summer.
You like summer.
A lot.
Alrighty. We got a caller, and we'll talk about whether Rademann's open, but let's take the caller first, okay?
Sure.
Alrighty, you're on the air. Good morning.
Hi. I have 2 flowering crab trees in my yard, one in the front and one in the back. The one in the backyard is doing just great. The one in the front yard, the leaves about a month ago are starting to turn a little bit red. So half my tree is green and half is a light red.
Does it get full sun?
Yeah, it gets full sun.
Okay.
What have you been doing? Let's just kind of go right back to the beginning. Have you watered it at all, either one this season yet or this summer?
No, they're probably 40 or 45 foot tall.
Uh-huh. So
No, I haven't watered them, either of them.
I think I would just kind of start there. That's almost the quickest and easiest way to address a problem. This year, we're kind of, the rains that we've been getting have kind of, helped out the top half of root systems, but not gotten all the way down into the deeper parts of, root systems of older trees. I would be a little hesitant to tell you to fertilize it or, spray it with a fungicide or do anything like that. I'd start with watering. The other thing is when it's this hot out, it's not good to spray anything on the foliage of your trees. So with that kind of being said, the only thing you can really do is to kind of help out the root systems more so. It's hard to say what it is. Would you say it's more turning fall color? That's the reddish it's turning?
It's like half the leaves are green, or maybe at least half are green, and the other ones are a light red, or and some actually fell off.
Yeah, and it could be apple scab.
That's what I was thinking. Some trees are really susceptible to that, and if it's been a lot of humidity and things like that, it can set it off earlier.
Like I say, it's probably a 30-year-old tree, and
Yeah.
it's never been like this before.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is kind of unusual, too,
Yeah.
because typically, if you're having problems one year, but a lot of times, it has to start at some point in time. So if you're having a problem this year, it's probably going to continue into next year, too.
Okay.
But
how old usually do flowering crabs live?
Well, they're in the apple family, obviously, and you should be able to get 40, 50, 60 years out of apple trees and crab apple trees. So,
Okay.
They're kind of getting up into that range, but I also wouldn't give up on it yet at this point in time either.
Okay.
So,
How much water do you give it then?
well, in a case like a bigger tree like this, I'd probably, go out there after the show, and and throw the garden hose on and just put it on like maybe about a 30% flow. Let's just say 20 to 40% flow, and you could leave it on there until noon.
Could he give it some of that 12-month tree rejuvenation or tree, that you can water in?
Well, the only fertilizer I guess I would probably, it is an older tree, and if you use like water-soluble fertilizers, that's going to end up being kind of costly.
Well, yeah. But there's that annual tree and shrub thing that you can give a tree.
Well, that's an insecticide, though.
Yeah,
or there's those 3-in-1 ones.
That one.
But I don't. I don't know if you. I'm not sure that's really the problem. If there is an insect problem or mites, it could be mites.
Could be.
Because you'll see like some mite damage on like autumn blaze maples right now. They're turning red, and that's just because the mites are sucking the pigment out of the leaves.
Yeah.
But boy, I don't know. I think I would
happen too often then.
Yeah, well, without seeing it again, it's always a little bit trickier. And I hate to tell you to, sometimes you can do more harm than good by putting fertilizers down onto stressed trees. So I think that's why I would start with just watering it. And then like out at Rademann's, we do have those 4 and 5 year time release packets. That kind of fertilizer would work on a larger tree in midsummer.
Okay, you just dig a little hole and put them in around the outside.
Kind
of
of,
the tree.
more around the drip line or in from there. You'll start more 4 and 5 feet out from the trunk, and then just do a circular pattern. And you can kind of make like a slit with a
shovel.
A shovel, a longer bladed shovel, and if you can get them down, 8 inches, 10 inches down, that's the best way to do it. You have to even be a little careful with spikes at this time of year because, they're a little more quicker reacting. And, on the other hand, if you put 4 spikes around it, it probably wouldn't hurt it.
No.
But I'd be a little careful doing a strong program, putting 10 or 12 or, without knowing the strength of them. I can't really tell you how many to put down or how many to not put down.
Well, I know it's been really dry earlier, but the last 2 weeks we've had a lot of rain.
Yeah, but that's really only the top. If you would dig down around if you take a post hole digger and dig down, what you're going to find is, the top 6 inches there's moisture. Well, probably the top 3 or 4 inches, there is no moisture because that's dried out already. Then you'll hit a little moisture between 6 inches and 12 inches maybe. And then you get down a foot and it's really hard and dry.
Okay.
So, and of course where the roots on a 30 or 40-year-old tree, well, they kind of they're in that area where 1 to 2 feet down, that's where most of the roots are, and that's where it's so dry right now.
Okay.
So the rain kind of makes our lawn look good, but it doesn't help the long-term health of a tree, and that's why I think if you would I'd irrigate it, and then I'd put the packets down, and I'd kind of stop right there for now, and then just see if that helps, and then maybe in a couple weeks, then you could try if it looks like it's in good health at that point in time, then you could still fertilize it with more of a, like Patty said, a water soluble or maybe you get an indication. A lot of times, by the time you see, there could have been some mites or insect damage, but by the time they're showing up, it's probably too late. By the time you see them, they're gone. So then you're kind of fighting a problem that's already gone away.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a hunch if it was that, I don't think it's there anymore. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
So you'd think there'd be an easy answer to this, but unfortunately, a lot of times by the time you find the problem or see the problem, it's there and gone. So that's why I would just hesitate to, putting a miticide on or anything like that at this time of year.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, yeah.
We thank you for the call. And now we can get to the fact the matter is Rademann's open today as we go into our break.
Rademann's is open today. We're open till noon today on Saturday and Monday through Friday till 4:30. And if you want to stop out and visit us this morning or any morning or any afternoon for that matter, the easiest way to find us is work your way over to Highway 41. And once you're on Highway 41, just 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, you'll see County Trunk B. That's B as in boy. Take that to the east, and we're right there at the crest of the hill.
We'll be right back. And we are back. Lines are open, 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. That email address is kfizstudio@gmail.com. And Ron and Patty have an email, but you got some further information on trees from the previous caller.
Well, actually, what we're going to kind of do is go into the question, the email question, and that's going to kind of clarify a little bit what we talked about with the previous caller, too.
Hand-in-hand questions.
And part of one of the problems you have to really be aware of at this time of year, well, let's take our caller.
Because this could get lengthy with this email.
Right, it will.
Right. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I've got a couple of spirea plants in the front of my house, and I think a week or so ago you mentioned that the dead ones that are on there now on the top, just cut them off.
Yeah.
There's a few of them still flowering yet, but about half of them are kind of turning brown on the top. And I think you said if you cut them off, they'll probably reflower again.
They will reflower, and you can either cut around each one off, or you can just shear them off and take the ones that are still flowering, because they're going to be done in another week or so anyway. So
might just well cut them all off, and as far as that goes, probably.
That's what I do at times, but sometimes if there's enough color left, I don't. It just
then
depends.
You just kind of wait another week.
Yes. So then they'll rebloom in another maybe month.
Okay, good. Fine. Thanks a lot. You people have a nice day. You have a great show.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling.
I'd water them though then too,
Sure.
because once you trim them like that, and then if you water them, that'll re-spark that new growth again.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll get you'll get those flowers back sooner rather than later. Because if you just shear them off and don't irrigate, and it stays this hot and dry, they'll kind of just be in limbo.
Yes.
Right. Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
All righty.
Have a good day.
Yeah, and you do the same. Thanks for the call. Lines are open for you, 920-923-1450, and back to our trees.
Well, the email came through, and it's has 3 or 4 points and questions. So I think what we're going to do is just kind of break it down. In the first point Melissa said was 2 weeks ago I sprayed my fruit trees, apple, plum, cherry, with neem oil, insecticide, and fungicide, along with Captan to help the black knot on the plums. If you have black knot fungus, the best way to deal with that is just trim it out completely. And black knot fungus, it kind of attacks the the vascular system of branches on the tree. And so because it's kind of underneath the bark, there isn't really any fungicide that'll get rid of black knot once you see it coming.
And if you got to trim way down to some major branching, your tree could look really very sad.
But you have to be tough on it.
Right, you do.
If you try to be gentle, it's only gonna get worse. So hit it hard.
Yep.
If you have black knot, and at this time of year, you can trim it hard and it'll bounce back. It'll still grow yet. It's still only, the early part of July. We've got a couple months of growing season here yet. So go ahead and trim it back. The other, then Melissa goes on to say that week many of the leaves turned yellow and fell to the ground. Well, the other thing, and this kind of goes back to why I didn't suggest to the previous caller, you have to be really careful about spraying anything on foliage when we've got temperatures like this into the 90s. You end up burning the leaves more so, it's just too hot and the sun's shining on them and the moisture, it
fries.
Water,
they get fried.
Water kind of acts like a magnifying glass, and it'll burn spots onto your leaves. So if you have to do any spraying, you want to do it late in the afternoon, early in the evening, more like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, because that way at least, and of course. You're putting moisture on the leaves. You're trying to spray a fungus, and it's dark out, and so there's just, you can't kind of win for losing, so to speak. So it's almost best just to leave well enough alone, and that's why when the caller, he called in, and I said, well, I think watering and working with the root system is the safest way, rather than trying to spray something on the foliage, because you just have to. You have to have a cloudy, cool day, and we just don't have any cloudy, cool days at this, especially in the pattern that we're in here right now.
Yeah.
So, and that kind of takes us to Melissa's next problem. She has Japanese beetle that kind of crept her way in, and of course, there again too. Now you can't use like the annual tree and shrub insecticide that we recommend using. It won't do you any good to do that at this time of year. Those Japanese beetles are not in the soil anymore now. They've hatched. They've turned into flying beetles, and they're out flying around now. They're not.
And hungry.
And hungry. And so they're, flying around your trees right now. So it doesn't do you any good to put an annual insecticide in the ground. Now, if you stop out to Rademann's and pick up the insecticide 8, that's a good one to spray on the Japanese beetles. And you could do that at this time of year. You're running into the same problem, that it's so hot out that you have to be super careful, spraying an insecticide
I walk
on
around
foliage.
with my little bucket of soapy water and take them all off my rose bushes. They go in the soapy water and they're done.
Well, and it's a little easier to pick them off a rose bush,
than
but
a
it's
tree.
a little bit trickier picking them off of a 30-foot linden tree.
Right.
And if your tree is older, you can get away with spraying it. But like the caller, when a tree is under stress, you don't want to spray it.
No.
Now, if you've got a healthy linden, a healthy elm, a healthy, tree that's suffering from Japanese beetle, then it's okay to spray it. I would do it early in the morning. Try to pick a cooler time of the day, if it's cloudy, that works much better. Even if there's a slight breeze, it's okay. Sometimes that works to your advantage. You can only spray one direction or two directions, maybe not three or four, but at least you can knock the population of the Japanese beetle down. But only a foliar spray will work at this time of year. It won't do you any good to put anything on the ground because there's nothing in the ground right now that's hatching or developing down there like there was a couple months ago. That would have been the time to put the application on the ground. Of course, then you don't see them, so you don't know you have them.
Well, a lot of them fly in from somewhere else in the neighborhood too. So putting something in the ground 9 times out of 10 isn't going to prevent them.
Well, and it depends if you've had them a severe infestation the year before, then they're in your tree, and then of course they're eating your leaves and dropping their eggs beneath their tree, and that's the advantage to putting it in the ground around the tree that was affected the most. And so you can, and again, if you don't need to kill every single beetle, but if you can knock the population down to 10% or 20%, you only have a 10% problem or a 20% problem instead of a 80 or a 90% problem. So
then they won't drop to the ground and have new ones next year.
Yeah. Right. Are they picky eaters, or do they just, if it's green, it's mine?
Well, they have certain favorites, let's put it that way. And they're more prevalent in lighter soils. We see more of a problem with them out in the perimeter areas of, let's just say, the perimeter areas of Fond du Lac, Oshkosh, Appleton, more up on the ledge in the Holy Land, more to the south and to the west. It's more of a problem in Rosendale and Ripon in the Green Lake area than it is here in the city of Fond du Lac, the city of Oshkosh.
They don't like red clay.
They don't like the heavier soils, right? Mm-hmm. But it is more of a problem in Oakfield and Lemira and Mayville, and as you get into over towards Plymouth and anywhere where there's and especially sandier soils when you get towards red granite and Watoma, it's even more of a problem as you get out that way.
I have sandy loam out by me. They like my soil.
Yeah, well, and that's the Eden again. You're out of that, the clay district. Let's just say the bottom. If you're on the bottom part of the ledge in Fond du Lac, it's a little bit better than it is on above the ledge and further out. So. But, then the other question I got this week is, well, I've got traps, I'm trapping them all.
Don't do that.
And, well, what traps do is they attract the beetles to the traps, but you aren't going to catch every one in a trap.
They're all going to come to your house, and whatever doesn't get in the trap is going to eat your stuff.
So, the traps are helpful only in one way, and the traps help you identify the fact that they're around and the population is building and things like that. So what the traps do is kind of help you determine, well, when I should start spraying for them, when I should start treating for them if I have a problem. If you're only catching a few here and there in your trap, well, then you don't really have a problem. When you've got a lot of them in your trap, then you better start spraying because you're not going to catch them all. You're only going to catch a small percentage of them. So the traps aren't really, the idea isn't to trap every one. The traps are only an indicator to know that you have a problem. So that's what the traps are all about.
My suggestion is ask your neighbors to put up traps. That'll draw them away from your yard.
If you don't like your neighbor.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's, Japanese beetle, they're about as big as your fingernail, and they fly around, and they're pretty easy to see. If you see a little skeletonizing of the leaves in some of the leaves in some of your trees at this time of year, it's probably Japanese beetle. And if you go out there and just kind of look around, and it doesn't have to be at night, or, you can walk out there at noon or 2 in the afternoon and just look around the tree, and you'll see them
They're
buzzing
busy
around
at 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
Believe me.
Yeah, it doesn't. They have no. There's no timeline with them. They just, they start
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they're there.
Yeah, and cocktail hour.
They're very versatile eaters.
Yeah, they don't play favorites as far as the time of day goes.
Wow. Sounds to me like that's something we really don't want.
No. They love roses. They love calla lilies. They love canna lilies. Oh my gosh.
They don't, sounds like they eat a lot of stuff.
They do.
What about like tomatoes or vine?
They love green beans. But they've not bothered any of the other vegetables in my garden.
Oh, okay.
And that's why.
So they're not healthy eaters.
No, they like junk food.
And that's why it's important to put down the preventative insecticides, because then you're putting it in the soil.
But not in your vegetable garden.
Instead of spraying it on top of your, over the top of your beans and raspberries and things like that. So, you want to put the preventative down, but that won't help you here in the middle of July.
No.
It's the wrong time of year.
Let's have a break.
Everybody needs a break from listening to me, that's for sure. So, again, Rademann's open till noon today. You can give us a call at 920-922-7612. And when we get back, I'll tell you about the next problem.
We are back. This is Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. And for the record, the lines are open. You can call your questions in right now, 920-923-1450, 888-900-1450. Email them if you like, kfizstudio@gmail.com. If you do that, see if you can send some pictures, and this gang of experts can see what your problem is. Speaking of problems, you mentioned going into the break, you're aware of another one.
Well, I was going to backtrack just a little bit to Melissa's email. She said since the neem oil didn't seem to help with any of her problems, should I just get rid of it? The thing is with neem oil or any oil like a dormant oil, you just want to use it more when there's no leaves on the trees or it's the wrong time of year.
Right.
Neem oil just doesn't really help much in June and July. So, Melissa, don't throw your neem oil out.
It's very good because
keep it for next year, but then just apply it more in March or April. It'll be more effective than in preventing some of these same problems.
That's why I like it. It's a preventative, and it's natural. It's not such a harsh chemical. So
anyway, yeah.
Is neem a name or is that neem a thing?
it is. It's a thing.
What's a neem?
It's oil.
Well, it's a dormant. It's a type of dormant oil.
Okay.
If you Google it, I Googled it once and I can't remember. I'd have to Google it again, but
That's okay. It just came to mind, because you said it's a natural thing. I thought, okay, it's a thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was a name, an acronym for national blah
No,
blah blah blah
no.
blah.
it's like pyrethrins are made from chrysanthemums, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Sure. So that's kind of a
I don't know what they are either.
That's a natural.
That's why you guys are here. If I did this show, it'd been off the air years ago.
But those are
I'm
natural
used to looking at the labels
insecticides.
and trying to figure out, what works for what. But I don't really know the exact origin of a lot of these things. I wasn't real good in chemistry.
They're not
And
agent.
if I would have been good at it, it would have been way too long ago. I would have forgotten
Yeah,
it by
by
now.
now, yeah.
They're not Agent Orange type chemicals.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
All righty. So they're not bad stuff
Well, they're bad stuff, but they're not.
for the bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and you're spraying it on branches before fruit develops and things like that. So that's the advantage of it. Then it's on the twigs and the branches of the tree rather than spraying it on the actual fruit that you're picking and eating.
And neem oil is residual too. It sticks. It's there longer because it's got the oil base.
Ah, okay. So use it, but at the right time.
Yeah,
Yes.
it just needs to be applied, and it's again, it's not kind of a cure-all. It just it helps you get started with the program, and it eliminates, a potential problem for later into the season. And if it eliminates that problem already back in March, then you don't have to worry about it come July. So
Prevention is a better cure than waiting till you have it.
so
Yeah, comes to mind with that powdery mildew garbage.
Right.
If you, I've learned over the last couple of years, if you spray early, it saves a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
So the other question that has come up over the last couple of weeks, looks like we got a caller. Maybe he's going to ask about it.
Okay, let's find out. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hi. As long as we're on trees, I have a friend that said his apples they have all black spots on them.
Yeah. So do mine.
What is that?
Is it apple scab or apple?
Well, is it
that
on a black spot on the actual apple or a black spot
Right.
on the
Yeah.
the leaves?
Yeah, it's on the fruit.
It's on the fruit.
Yeah, it's probably some type of fungus if it's a spot. And again, a fungicide, and like at Rademann's we have, an organic miticide, fungicide, insecticide that I like to use on fruit trees, and it's already too late.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Right.
You aren't gonna.
Yeah.
It's more preventative, and you would have had to been spraying it already, starting more around Memorial Day weekend, and then continuing that every couple weeks through June and into early July. Once you get here into the middle of July, it doesn't really do you much good to be applying any more fruit tree sprays. If there's damage there, it's already too late. And now you're spraying a chemical on fruit that you're going to be eating shortly. So, I generally do not like to do any more spraying of fruit trees at this time of year. You've kind of missed the
window.
missed the window of it.
Will this kind of carry over to next season?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Just clean
All
up
right.
all the fruit if you have fruit and things on this ground around the tree in the fall.
Right.
Yeah, as
I'll
long
let
as
'em-
you clean up the leaves and the fruit and the let's just call it the fruit tree debris, because
Right.
that would have spores in it that
Yep.
could develop for next year. So
I've got an apple tree, a dwarf. It's about 6 feet high, 6.5, maybe 7 years old. And it's got a couple of almost vertical branches, one on each side sticking straight out, and there's nothing else coming off of them, no other branches. And I know I got to trim those in the spring, but I don't know where to trim them, down by the stem or halfway
No.
to make them.
Trim it right where it comes off the bigger branch.
All right.
So do you think that's like a water
Yeah.
sprout?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, then
It's about 2.5 feet long.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They grow. They grow
yeah,
fast.
and you could actually take those off yet right now.
Sure.
It's early enough in the year, so I don't like to do, complete makeover trims at this time of year, but a small cut here and there, you could take that out anytime now at this time of year yet.
I just did last week all those that I
Well,
missed.
how far apart, like they say, like if you have branches that are only like 2 inches up from each other up the stem, you should thin some of them out?
Yeah, you want to have the branches should really be, at least a foot apart and maybe even further, because that way you don't get, otherwise as the branch grows, it starts rubbing up and growing right into
crossing over.
Yeah.
Right, yep.
Yeah, so as the tree grows or as it matures, take out, the branches, and you don't necessarily, alternate them too. One side of the tree to the other is better than having branches that are laterally across from each other.
Right.
So, skip and circle around the tree and take the branches off as you spiral around it.
Even now?
A light pruning right now would be okay, but
I didn't want to let the diseases get in on those cut spots.
no, because see, now at this time of year you can cut them and they'll start healing over already too. So,
But you just don't want to take a saw to saw a huge branch. Just
right, good point, Patty. If you're using a hand shears, that's okay. If you start getting out the chainsaw,
no,
you're
don't do that.
These are only about 1 inch in diameter.
Yeah, those are fine.
Yeah, then limit the trimming though, because they need the leaves to grow and develop and be better, healthier trees.
I just want to do those 2 long ones for now.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else I'll do in the spring and May or in March or so.
No,
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for the help.
All righty, thanks for the call. And we are going to take our final break.
Our final break. Again, Rademann's open till noon today. I think you could probably still get a delivery if you want to work on a hot weekend. I don't know. I'd probably skip the delivery if it was up to me. But anyway, stop on out and say hi to the gang 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, east on County B, a quarter mile right there at the crest of the hill.
Landscape Smart, brought to you by Rademann Stone and Landscape Company. Let's hit the phones. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
We have rhubarb, and in the spring it's just beautiful, and we harvest it, and then about a week or two ago, the leaves all started dying and yellow, and what's causing that?
Well, mine aren't doing anything like that. That's really, really strange. We had enough moisture in the ground and everything like that. Did somebody have any spray over there? Did someone spray your lawn, your yard next door?
Well, they sprayed this spring our lawn.
That could cause it. Sometimes those sprays have stuff in that's going to hurt, stuff like rhubarb.
But how long ago did they spray or apply a herbicide? Spray an herbicide. It would have to be
like at least 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, they sprayed it before that already. Well, early in May, I think they sprayed it. First part of May. But
yeah, that's hard.
We have that every year.
So this is the first year that you had a problem with the rhubarb, though.
No, it isn't the first time.
Okay.
We've had it other years too.
I'm suggesting that something's in that spray they're using that's the rhubarb does not like.
Well, and it could have some type of preventative weed
like a broadleaf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I would make sure that any applications of herbicides are far enough away that it's not working its way into the soil there, because that could be your problem.
That's what I
It's hard
think.
to say.
yeah.
It doesn't sound like it would be anything else.
Right.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll have to watch that next spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That they don't get too close to it, I guess.
Right. Or if there's a wind drift going that direction too, if they're spraying. You know?
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it looks, it's always beautiful. We pick it, and then all of a sudden it starts wilting and
Yeah.
yellow leaves. And
Yeah.
we
That-
talk to our friends, and they say, oh, ours is just beautiful yet. We're using it.
All right, we got to get going here. End of the show. Good luck next year. Thank you for your call.
Yeah, thanks. A lot of good questions here this week. Again, Rademann's open till noon today, Saturday, Monday through Friday till 4:30. 920-922-7612, or stop on out just 3 miles south of Fond du Lac, east on County B as in boy. We're right there at the crest of the hill, just a quarter mile down the road.
All righty. We are thanking you, as always, for your calls. We appreciate that. It makes the show move. Thanks to Patty. Thanks to Ron.